All right, welcome guys. Today, going through what I think is the premium premium feature of this site, which is the draft kit. I'm going to go through all the different variations so you guys have a full understanding of how to use it, and I'm really excited about this one, so let's get into it. To start a new draft, hit the button. You'll see rookie mode or vet mode. Vet mode is where you put in all your projections manually, like, I'm projecting 17 points for this player or whatever else. And rookie is like the classic drag and drop that you would use. I think, like, for instance, JSN is worth more than Drake London. I'm going to move him up. And I think the rookie mode is more useful for people who use the ADP as the starting point and then kind of move off of the ADP, so kind of like a top down. Whereas the vet mode, which is the way that I like to do it, is a bottom-up version where you really try to stay away from what the market is saying and build your own numbers with no bias. So let's do rookie mode real quick. We'll do a rookie draft and see how this goes. First up, you pick your settings. I'm doing a classic half PPR. My leagues sometimes do 2 flex, sometimes do 1 flex. I'll just go with the standard 1 flex for this one. Now we get right into it. These ones here are all based off of the ADP, and to move players, you simply can click it and change it, or go into each positional group and kind of move them around. All of these will have notes that you can type up. So for instance, I can say CeeDee Lamb, I don't know, deep ball share might drop with Pickens arrival, and then hit done. That'll save in here. I can double click it and see it any time. And for news, it can be something like, I don't know, contract issue, or late for training camp, or something you may want to like pay attention to the next time you come back around. So just for shits, let's move some of these around a little bit, just to see the functionality. And I think the whole point of all of this was you can scroll down, you can show more. And we'll also show the 2024 fantasy points per game and XFP per game, kind of to give you like an idea of, oh yeah, this is how this guy performed last time around. And obviously, if you really use this site like a pro, you already know what all the advanced metrics are for these players, and you'd probably have their player pages open while you took care of this board. So when you scroll down, you can go down to show more. All of the players up to the top 250 will show up. You don't need to rank all of them, obviously, but if you wanted to, you could. You can hit save and exit, or you can go into your rankings. When you go into the rankings, it'll actually go into the ADP versus yours and tell you which ones you are higher than and which ones you are lower than. And that way you can kind of discern what your value is versus, I guess, the consensus. This is a standard practice, really, but a good way for you to gauge, like, this is where I differentiate myself from the market, and maybe by how much, in case a value looks way off. Like, for instance, when I was screwing around, Travis Kelce became a huge steal for me. I don't think in real life he was a huge steal for me, but nonetheless, you can identify them here. Then you can save and return at Draft Central, and you'll see that 3 drafts, you have up to 3 draft slots. This one will populate here. You can export it, which I highly recommend. Now, these drafts, they will all stay here as part of your history, but if you clear your browser history or your cache, it's going to go away. So one thing you can do to make sure you don't have that problem is hit export. The CSV version is if you want to, take a look at it as an Excel sheet while you draft, which again, we'll get to that. But the JSON is the one that you need in case you wipe your browser and you want to upload it again. So let's say that I, deleted the draft. I can hit import. So just like that, import is back in. I just uploaded the file. We're good to go. Now I'm going to show you the other version of this draft, which is the vet draft. We'll do vet mode, create a draft, half PPR. Now, this is where it gets really fancy. We start talking about this thing called VORP. Now, VORP, if you're not new to fantasy or sports analytics, you probably know what it is. It stands for value over replacement player. I know it sounds kind of nerdy, but the reality is you need to be able to compare positional groups in a standard way, right? Like QBs score more points than a running back or a wide receiver does on the average, or tight ends score less points, right? you need to be able to compare every player to what we consider the replacement level. Now, the replacement level you can manually change, but I have it auto generate, and it's based off of the roster settings of your league. Right now, if it's like a standard 12 team, or let's say it's a 10 team, 10 QB starters, the 11th one would be the replacement player. And then the wide receiver running back is kind of tweaked in a way where it kind of represents the reality in the NFL, where there's more flex-worthy wide receivers and running backs. And like that ratio, again, no matter what settings you choose, it will update accordingly. And if you really wanted to, you could say, okay, I want to make this 33. I want to do that, but that's up to you. Projections, again, just like the rookie mode, the notes are the same, the news is the same, but you can actually go in for every single player and say, do two things, right? You can say, all right, I'm assuming that Bijan Robinson, when healthy, or like I'm going to give him a projection of 18.5 points, okay? And then the injury, right, and I'm still working on this piece, but I do it every year. The injury is set to the median for that position group. So if on the average, right, a running back misses 1 or 1.5 games, all the running backs will start off with that default injury projection. So let's say I bump this up to 1.5, and I'll just go ahead and fill these with defaults for now, just so we can get things moving. You'll get the projection, the injury, and then you'll see exactly how many points they're worth more than the replacement player. Now, if you were to mess with this and say, let's say that Saquon Barkley was suspended for 4 games, and I tweak this up to 5, you'll see that his base VORP stays high, but his injury adjustment VORP brings him down lower. And injury adjustment VORP basically says that if this player played for me for, the 12 games of the year, right, and then the other 5 I had to have a replacement player play, how many total points would I get out of that slot? And as this goes up, obviously you get less value. But if he was to play the entire season, he would shoot up back to where he belongs. Yeah, so I mean, it's the same kind of stuff. You can fill with defaults for all of these if you'd like. And then I didn't mention this last time. You can abandon recent changes in case you didn't want to, you accidentally filled something or didn't want to, you rewrote something wrong or whatever else. But if not, we can just go ahead and say, let's go to all. We'll fill all the defaults. And yeah, it's my draft board, man. Let's go to the rankings. Same idea. Shows us where the value is versus the EDP. And we'll save and return to Draft Central. So now we've got 2 drafts, and it kind of highlights how it works. You can have it open in a split screen and go through them one by one, put your notes in, it'll save, you can import, you can export. But in my humble opinion, one of the best things that this has is the live draft setting, which you can use to do mocks or do your real draft. I'm going to go in with this one. It's really quite simple. You're going to go through and say, oh, Saquon got taken, Bijan got taken, CD got taken. Okay, Jahmyr Gibbs is on my team, right? And it'll tell you the bye week. It'll tell you what position. And as everything keeps going through, blah, 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 you'll see, oh, now I have this player, and I have this player, and I have this player. And this is kind of very, very similar to what ESPN does. So this is great, but if you're like me and you don't want your league mates knowing what you're up to, and you're trying to gatekeep this site, which you rightfully should be trying to do, you should hit Rich Incognito mode, which took quite a bit of inspiration from what the March Madness Live boss mode uses. And, it even changes up here to Untitled Spreadsheet. It looks exactly like Google Sheets. Virtually, unless someone is looking at this thing for a good amount of time, I don't think they'll be able to tell what you're up to. But it'll still do the same kind of functionality. You can even go by position group, hit your X's, hit your checks. And this way, no one will know what you're up to. If you want to flip this back off, you can just click that top button. And that's kind of the whole thing, man. I mean, I wish I wish that everyone in the world could have access to this site and know what's up, but I also know that if you're in a league and you're trying to win, you need every competitive advantage there is. So yeah, that's everything. One other thing on the VORP itself, I have a little bit of conversation here just to kind of high level it for you guys. If it's easier for you just to use the rookie mode, go for it. But in my humble opinion, if you're really trying to get every ounce of juice, every edge you can in your draft, you really ought to use the VORP method with the injury adjustments to see how it all plays out.